Hey, so I just wanted to do at least one quick productive video tonight, just to talk about the concept of what I'm trying to accomplish here, and give you a little insight on the things I'm doing to try to save money or not spend too much money on something that's a necessity. Um, if there's one thing I've learned through this process, is just that be patient and don't demand stuff of yourself that is not really necessary in the moment. Trust me, when it's necessary, if you're engaged, you'll perform. Like you'll get it done when it's supposed to be done. And before I get to the topic of the video, which is the wood burning stove back here behind me, um, I'll tell you a quick story. When I first got this container moved down here, I didn't have any bathroom facilities or anything, and so I was doing the same thing that the inhabitants of the woods out there do, and I was just going out and finding me a nice tree. Anyways, don't really get too complicated. But it occurred to me I had an old climbing stand, a two-piece climbing stand down in the woods for deer hunting, and so I went down and got it, and I took the top rail off, or the top section where your seat and your nylon straps and stuff are fastened to, and I took all that off, and I cut me some plywood and fit it on there and made a deck, and then I bought me a toilet seat, and I mounted it to it. And you take the deer stand out with the strap and the cleats and everything. You find your right size tree and you fasten around it and get it set just right. And when the weather's nice, it's wonderful. I mean, you set out in nature and and do your thing, right? Anyways, I know I'm probably grossing you out. I'm sorry. But I had worked out an arrangement with a fellow up here in town to get a commode at a good price, and it took us a little while to get together on it, but when we finally did, I got it, and I had it home for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, and I didn't do anything with it. I let it sit, and continued to use my little deer stand porta potty, and I checked the weather one day, and the forecast for the next morning was I don't know, 38 degrees and 20-mile-an-hour wind. And I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna enjoy that tomorrow morning. So I worked until, I don't know, 10:30 that night with a little battery-powered lantern, and got my commode installed and got everything plumbed up. And next morning, I went in style. I ain't gonna lie to you. I have every morning seen it. So I mean, it's necessity. When it's necessary, it'll happen. And that being said, brings me to the topic of conversation for the video, which is the wood burning stove. And when I first come down here, there again, the weather was really nice. It was mild. It was pleasant. No need for any heat or anything. And so I didn't really stress about it for a good while there, and then when the weather started to change and cool off a little bit, and it started to get a little cooler at night, it was getting uncomfortable to wake up in the morning and be that cold, and so if you read anything that I put in the description of the channel here, my concept is to live a minimalist, self-sustained lifestyle, but do it in a manner that doesn't forego any of the comforts of life that we've all become accustomed to. And heat is one of those. And so when it became necessity, when it started getting cold and I started to get uncomfortable, I took the cheapest alternative I could find, which was a 55-gallon drum, which I already had. I had gotten it for free. I need to thank some folks for that, and I will. And a stove kit for a 55-gallon drum from Tractor Supply. I believe it was $49.95, and then I spent about $60 on the stove pipe, and so $110 roughly. I've gotten the heater, and it is without a doubt been my best friend for the past at least 30 days. I mean, 50 degrees isn't really all that bad cold when you're up and active, but when you're laying down trying to sleep, or you wake up in the morning and you get out from under the covers, 50 degrees is pretty cold. I mean, a lot of guys are tougher than I am, and I get all that, but and that's fine. I mean, it ain't about toughness, it's about comfort. And if you have the capacity, the knowledge and the skill to enhance your comfort for a price that's so reasonable that, you know, you're not gonna have to mortgage a farm to make it happen, then I say go for it. And I love the thing. I mean, I do. I can't help it. It's gorgeous to me. In its perfectly rustic state is just impressive to me. And you know, I split all the wood myself with an axe. I don't have a log splitter. I'd like to have one. I think that's probably on the agenda one of these days. But in the meantime, swinging an 8-pound busting axe is pretty good workout. So if you think you need to lose a few pounds or feel a little manly because, you know, you want to get out and do something hard, primitive, then get you an axe and split some wood and put it in your fire. And I guarantee you one thing: when you warm yourself and you warm your family, your kids, with wood you split yourself with your own blood and sweat, because you're going to get banged up. It's just part of it. There's a pride in there. There's a pride in that you can't get anywhere else. And you should embrace that. So anyway, 50 bucks. Pretty simple. It's just a door unit on the front. And the 2 legs on the bottom. And then you have the collar, the mount plate collar up top for the stovepipe, which has the flue. And as I said again, there again in some of my introduction, talked about people who I have learned a lot from. And one of the guys, one of the channels that I've watched on occasion is Wrangle Star. I watch some of his videos, and I don't watch some of them. It just depends on what I'm looking for. And I'm always looking for the person that's the most concise, direct, and to the point. And because I'm busy, I have a lot to do, and I don't really have time to sit around and listen to a bunch of nonsense. So I hope I don't spew a bunch out myself. But the point he made is to leave the 2-inch bunghole that it is on a 55-gallon drum at the bottom when you mount your front door, and use it as an additional air inlet. And he actually mounted a pretty cool 2-inch cast iron pipe extension. I don't know how long it was, a couple of inches, 2-3 inches maybe, and he fashioned a pretty cool little swinging door at the end of that pipe. You can check out his video. His is cooler than mine. He did a double stack. I think they call that a double barrel stove. But yeah, I haven't done that. I just use the screw-in cap that goes on it, and you know, it's hot from time to time when you need to take it out or put it in. But just a simple pair of pliers is all you need. The performance of the stove is in this container build I'm doing here. If I come in and it's 45, 50 degrees in here, get a fire from start to 80 degrees in here, less than 20 minutes. And then so it's a matter of regulating your air intake and how much wood you keep stocked up in there, to manage your temperature. So anyway, so I wanted to introduce you guys to my very first wood burning stove. I'm just delighted to have it and proud that I had the capacity and the ability to put it together and enhance the comfort of my life. Because every day the objective is to improve the quality of your life. No matter what you're doing, where you're at, or what your direction in life is, your objective every day should be to improve your quality of life. So thank you guys so much for checking out my video. Strength and honor, as always. Stand up and fight for yourself.